Hello. All right, welcome to
Let's
Two
do
Queens
this.
and Crystal Things. You all already know this is the podcast where we're on some manifest your life, shift your mind,
Yes, please.
and raise the consciousness type of shit.
Well, come on now.
I am Christy.
And I am Mia. And you can consider us your spiritual girlfriends for the next hour. Hey, boo.
Yes.
So last
Hey,
week
Queens.
was our 1 year
Oh
anniversary.
my gosh. I cannot believe it's been 1 year.
And that was so fun. I can't believe it's been 1 year too. So basically, what we talked about was kind of reflected on what's happened over the past year. We chatted about our top 3 episodes from each season.
That was a great idea.
Yes, we've had a lot of fun, and we are still so grateful and thankful for this. And honestly, I said, doing this podcast, even think about during the quarantine and all this. Has been it's been the light of my week often. These have been some rough times that we've been going through.
It's been a really positive.
And so it's interesting just
Out
even
loud.
speaking about healing and sharing your story, how it kind of creates the ripple effect of healing, but it also does it within us. So I love doing this. I almost feel like I'm getting more out of it.
Yes.
And I'm like, I feel like, what else can we do?
Right. Because I feel like essentially we are sharing the shit that we've gone through, even past and present. And we're sharing it with you and working, there are times where we are still working through stuff, but we're sharing it with you in the hopes of helping someone. So that has been helpful for me, especially for my healing, which
brings us to today's topic.
Yes.
Christy, what we're talking about.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Give the people what they want.
So I don't remember what I was listening to or what I was looking at, but so today's topic, okay, we're going to dive into toxic positivity. And once I saw this, this is a thing. Once I saw this, I said, okay, yeah, that is me. I have gone through that.
I mean, no, Christy, when you said it, I was like, oh, I've never heard of that. Let's check this out. And I was like, oh shit.
Yes, it is a thing. And you all know, both of us, we've been very transparent about our spiritual journeys, our life journey. But as always, I want to provide you with a clinical definition of what toxic positivity is. And so toxic positivity is it's the excessive and ineffective overgeneralization of a happy, optimistic state across all situations. And so the process of toxic positivity results in the denial, minimization, and invalidation of the authentic human emotional experience. I feel seen. I feel seen.
So when you brought this up, I kind of started looking into it, and I was kind of looking at what the different indicators are, and I'm like, I've definitely done this, not only to other people, but to myself.
Yes. Yes.
So basically, you guys, it's no matter what happens, okay, you just lost a parent, anything, you're supposed to stay positive.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate fake it till you make it.
Right.
And so you're faking and lying to yourself.
Not healthy. So I will admit that now that I'm able to look at this topic from a lens of maturity and awareness and experience, I understand why I went through it. So in my 20s, I was beaten down. Emotionally, physically, mentally. I was in an abusive relationship. And in order for me to get out of that, toxic positivity was my way of being able to, just day to day. I have kids.
It was like a shield.
It was.
Yeah, it's just let me put this on. Interesting.
Because one, I didn't want to have my ex-husband know that he got to me in the way that he got to me. Mm-hmm. I didn't want him to know that he had, I was broken.
You're I didn't want him to know. But see,
I was broken.
But see, and this is why I can understand completely why it's so easy to fall into toxic positivity, is because it's a shield. It's protection. and you know, I'm a Cancer. We know about putting up shells to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
So some people, that's really interesting, Christy, because some people choose violence.
Right.
Some people choose paranoia. Some people choose, no matter what, everything's fine, it's going to be okay. Some toxic positivity. I think a lot of that, like, let's keep it real, a lot of that comes from our parents, and not them trying to put, you know, I don't believe the intention necessarily is, see, I will tell you the truth, my mom, she's not, the Sharon has no problem, you're going to deal with what it is, but but when dealing with herself, but I also saw her doing it with herself. You know what I mean? Like, so what you see as a child, because of course as an adult you're like, this is not child business. Right. So everything's fine, when clearly we like, no, everything not okay. This is something's not right. Yeah. And so we learn that just by watching.
Yeah. And now that I look back at it, that was, I mean, like you said, that was our shield, but that was also my way of surviving. Oof. That was my way of survival, because I was a single parent. I had 2 kids. I had been in an abusive relationship. Life has to go on. Like, I didn't have the time to sit back.
So what else you gonna do?
Right.
Like what you gonna do to keep going?
I didn't have the luxury of sitting back and laying in bed and being depressed. I didn't have the luxury of not working. I didn't have the luxury of pausing my life. So I had to find something.
Oh, girl, when you just said a word, I cannot tell you. No, for real. How many times I have said, I just want to hit the pause button.
Yeah.
Woo! Girl, Christy, seriously.
I've never been able to hit the pause button.
No, I mean, I have not been able to do it, but how many times I've been like, I need the double line. Just real quick. Just please. Oh my goodness.
And I feel like when you, like, so as a parent, not only as a parent, but as a single mother of 2 children, I felt like I didn't, and kids, if you have children, kids are barometers. They know what's going on.
Man.
But I didn't want them to feel my stress, so I created this bubble of everything is fine, we're going to be fine, we're going to be good. That's when I started learning about affirmations, which they weren't called affirmations, but I just started, like, putting, like, all positive stuff in my head, like, you know, love and light and love, positivity. And I didn't realize that wasn't healthy.
Sorry.
But it's fun, but it's true. You know,
it's the face you just made.
Stop talking about my faces. But no, and I didn't realize that it was imbalanced. But now, you know, we've been talking about duality, and we've been talking about embracing the dark side and the shadow side, the light side with the positive. So I realized that we have to embrace all aspects of ourselves. So let me ask
a question then. What do you think the difference between toxic positivity and hope is? Do you know what I mean? Because, because I'm feeling like, just thinking about being in those trenches, being like where it feels like, oh my fucking God, like, you know, it's Murphy's Law. If, like, what else could happen? And so what is the difference between trying to put because I feel like it's like we're trying to put a mask. Right. Yeah, there's a difference. Like when you're trying to mask it and not necessarily feel it. Because I feel like with hope, you can be aware and cognizant of the space that you're in, but still know that this shit is temporary and it's going to get better. Right. Where I feel like toxic positivity would be
like that meme with the dog in the room that's on fire. Like, everything's fine.
Everything's totally fine. It's fine.
It's great.
I was barbecuing.
Unicorns. Everything's good. Let me pull out some marshmallows and toast these.
This is going to be great.
Right.
So I don't, and the reason I bring that up is because I think it's important, while we can be aware and you know, and present in the moment and not necessarily trying to sugarcoat it, but we can also still have that faith in knowing that and this too shall pass.
Right.
And you know that there is still hope without necessarily masking how we really feel.
Right. So I think I know
what's really happening.
So deep down, I do feel like I did have some hope. Like, Christy, this cannot be your life. This dude did not just break into your house. He did not just separate your shoulder, send you to the emergency room, and then you actually said yes to his parents to bring him back over to the house so he can see the kids when he drove about 45 minutes to an hour to beat you up.
You're like, did I just...
Right, and it's just like,
Oh, girl, it's the realization and accountability for me. Right. It's the, because sometimes we look back on our past selves, and you guys, we know it's hard to hold ourselves accountable.
Goodness.
But it's something refreshing just getting to that pace. Like, even after that, I did this for this, you know what I mean, for whatever reason that we chose at the time. But being able to hold ourselves accountable. But I'll tell you something beautiful when you get past that level of thinking. And you look back and you're like, the audacity of myself. I could not believe.
That's where I'm like, Christy, are you for real?
I cannot believe how many times, think about it, Christy, how many times in your life have you lowered your vibration to match somebody else's frequency, to be just for love. And it's when you really think about like how often we do that, men and women, I don't care who you loving, we can definitely alter our vibration to fit somebody else's vibration, and then get mad later when that energy is what it is. Like, we knew what the hell it was. That's why we had to lower our vibration.
Ourselves down.
Right. That's why we had to dim that light.
Right.
And so, look,
when I tell you I was broken,
child.
Mia, I was broken. I couldn't even think straight. Like, when they called and they said, well, we're going to bring him over to see the kids, and it didn't occur to me, like, well, the reason why he lost or, wasn't able to spend time with the kids is because he was over here trying to see what I was doing. Mm-hmm. Broke into the house. Mm-hmm. I was broken. And after that, I was like, you know what? I have to survive. Life has to go on, so I need to figure out a way.
Christy, sis. I can't, like... I mean, it's just the understanding there. Yeah.
And then you said also, like, seeing the example from your parents. Growing up, my parents taught me, turn the other cheek. So someone will do something, someone does something to me, I turn the other cheek. Oh, okay, I see you. I see your true self, but it's fine, whatever. And I'll make excuses. Oh, well, it's okay. They probably weren't really thinking, or, oh, that's fine. Not a big deal. My mother does that too. Like, everything is, I mean, now she's in a space where she's very happy. She's retired, which is why she's happy. But
amen.
But my mother is very positive and happy all the time. And I'm sure there are moments she goes through it, especially with my father.
Do you know what, though? Think about it as a parent. Do you know we do a lot to shield and in our minds protect our children from, like, because at the end of the day, I really do still feel like this. There's certain things that I just don't necessarily need to expose Jay to, because she hasn't mastered the ability to manage her emotions. And so I'm putting some adult emotions on her. She doesn't know what to do with that. Right. She doesn't even know how to process. So all that does is make her feel bad. So I get that. But there has to be some point in us being authentic as parents, because, we're a little bit more aware than I think that our parents were at that time.
So I will say, I don't think I've ever seen my mother cry. Like,
what?
Growing up. Like growing up.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, now she'll cry for happy things, and like she cried when her sister passed. But growing up, I think I might have seen her cry once because some bill was due. But that was the only time that I had ever seen her cry.
Really?
And so I picked that on, and I remember her telling me, never let these men see you troubled, see you sad. If you need to wake up with your chest up and you need to walk into the bathroom, that's what you do. But you never let these men see how they affect you. And so I now, like with my daughter, there was a time where I wouldn't let her see me cry. But at this point, I'm like, fuck it, look, I'm sad. Are you okay?
I'm having a minute.
Are you okay? No, I'm not okay.
Nope.
I'm not.
I think it's important for her to see that. Think about this, though. Especially, and I can speak to this for as Black women.
Yes.
So there's two different times of toxic positivity. There's the love and light, and there's the you do not let these motherfuckers see you fold. Do you hear me? So when I say, it's almost like we've been trained from you do not fold, you are strong. You know what I mean? And so we don't even allow ourselves to feel those emotions. Then you got to think about it, you guys. Then when you're in a relationship with someone else, So, if I'm in a relationship with a man and I do not allow myself to be vulnerable, it's almost like, you know what I mean? Like I'm giving all masculine energy. I'm not being the water that I am. I'm not being receptive.
Both,
we got to, embrace both. So what that does is the fire is going to be fire. That means it's just how it is. So then it's like we're colliding. We never allow ourselves to kind of fold into each other and really get to know each other, because we have been taught that as a strong black woman, you don't let anybody see you weak.
Right.
And I mean, and that literally is a form of toxic positivity, because that shit just keeps going, and that's what we teach our children.
Yeah. Like, black women are strong.
Black
women are supposed to be strong. Black women don't fold.
And you guys, and you know what, we have to think about how that translates into other interactions. So, for instance, in the medical field, and we've talked about this before.
I work in the medical field.
Doctors are trained to, black women can take more pain than others.
Right.
It's a narrative that we are perpetuating. But, now that we're a little bit wiser, we know better. But, like, something that simple, there's just, literally, this is just how I was raised. That's toxic.
Mm-hmm. I had my first breakdown at work. Remember I told you about ex-husband number 2 stealing the money?
Yeah.
I broke down at work. As she giggles. Mia.
Wait.
She just giggled.
I'm going to tell y'all why, though. I am not being...
She's like...
I am not lacking sensitivity or empathy in this. I was laughing, thinking about when she told me about it. I was like, well, shit, I got the solve for that. Chrissy will never let me be great. Because I was like, oh, don't worry. You need that. She won't let me be great. So I was giggling at this conversation that we had. I was just trying to help send messages. Sometimes,
she was like, do I need to
I'm just saying,
But I broke down, and I've never broken down at work. Like, I only speak when I have something to say. So the fact that I broke down and they've never seen me like that, they were just like...
In front of people?
Yeah.
Wait, why did my heart just quicken? Like, I got anxiety off of that. Oh, baby, that happened. I've broken down twice at work, and I feel like, and I just remember that feeling like...
She's grabbing my hand like,
yes. Because it's like, I feel like they got me.
Yeah.
I felt like, oh, these motherfuckers got me. They saw me weak. Oh, shit.
No, but I also think, now I look at it like I don't feel like I showed them my weakness. I think if anything, I showed them that I'm human.
Right.
But in the past, I would have never been like, oh, everything is fine. No one inside have been like, ooh, I'm about to go to the bathroom and cry.
Oh, let me tell you something. This is terrible. Especially at my the last position I was in, I had a crying stall. See how she just laughed at me?
Second from the left.
Actual fucking facts.
The toilet just feels better.
Oh my god, it was so terrible. Oh my, ooh, child. Ooh, I had a crying stall. I'm like, I'll be right back.
Smiling. Okay.
Oh my goodness, I was going through.
Why did we do that? But why
mentally,
did we do that?
Emotionally. Oh my god, I hated being there. And I've never like seriously, I have genuinely loved every position that I've had. I've had some great experiences. I mean, like really like some dope. And when I say I hate it, like that feeling, like, that guy when he's like, I can't stand this motherfucker. I can't believe I gotta go in. I mean, it was heart palpitations every day. Hear that video?
I enjoy being in this shit.
I can't stand it. Girl, I would be on the train. Like, I'm like dead ass serious. I would be on the train on the way to work. Girl, dotting my eyes because I had to stop because I couldn't, like, the tears, and I was just like,
that's not
like
good.
trying to breathe through it. But when I say, and then I was in the middle of it with going through the divorce with my ex-husband, and then me calling myself half-ass liking some fool, and being exposed to the foolishness. I was like, this is not what's up. But that damn that crying stall, because let me tell y'all, the bathroom stall, like, this is a real thing, and I know somebody gonna feel this. We had those good bathroom stalls that were doors, so it wasn't like so nobody could see the top or the bottom. When I say I would go in there and I would sit on the toilet with my clothes, you know, like sit down on the toilet. Yeah, I'm dead ass serious, and an ugly cry in silence.
Remember I told you I did that in kindergarten?
In silence. Do you hear me? Like, you like face over.
Yes.
Baby, I'm talking about ugly cry. Blow my nose, wipe my eyes off, wash my hands, fix my mascara, and then have to go out there and act like I gave a shit. Can you, just, when we really think about how damaging that is to ourselves, and that's the thing with toxic positivity, it's like, you can experience from someone else, and I'm going to talk about that too, how we do that to each other, or you give it to yourself, or you do it to yourself, and that's, like,
and the fact that I did that, like, as a kindergartner, that's horrible, because I was taught that, because we were taught protection. I was taught, like, you gotta be strong.
Like man. Look, we gotta be what we gotta be. Yep. Shit. It is what it is.
All right, so
okay. So I want to go. So what are we'll go through some of the signs of toxic positivity. Okay, so when Christie, brought this up, I was like, oh, let me go look. So I started looking up signs and just indicators. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm just gonna say it. Okay. Everything on this list I have done. I'm just gonna say it, like, real talk. Okay, so we just talked about, first on the list is hiding or masking your true feelings. We just talked about that.
Absolutely.
I mean, let me tell you something. I was the queen of fine. I'm fine. Everything, it's fine. I got this. I got this shit. I got this. No, I got this. I got this. It's cool. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. When literally on the inside, I'm trying, like, it's like the little girl inside of me is scratching the back of my eyeballs, like, no, we don't got this. We ain't got it.
There's no fire here.
Ask for help. We ain't got it, sis.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is now I see, I can feel, even more so when people do it. I'm like, you're not fine. Like, stop playing. You're upset. Don't try and fake the fun. Don't try and make it sound like you're all positive. But yes, I have been there. I have hid and I have masked my true feelings. And honestly, this is a work in progress for me, because I feel like I've conditioned myself to the point.
Since you were doing this in kindergarten, you were whole grown. That's 40 years of this, Christy. Like, it is. Like, you guys, like, seriously, when we talk about healing being a continual journey, there's things that, like, it's really, because there are things ends. Like, when we talk about something like this that's like, literally just how we turn, it's just a part of, and this is the thing, it has served us well to be able to move forward. It served you in the time when you were like, this is what I have to hold on to so I can wake up and not kill people and not jump out the window. Like, this is, like, you know what I mean? So people have to.
This was my hope. This became part of my hope, and I conditioned myself.
Yes. So it served us at a time, but then it gets to a point where we grow and we mature within ourselves and understand our ability to heal, and you start saying, like, oh, this feels weird. What is this? What is this I have going on? So we have to unlearn and reprogram ourselves.
Yep.
And so basically, it's like we're mothering ourselves at a grown age.
We are, and I feel like we've talked about
in a more
it before.
conscious state.
Yeah. I feel like, we always talk about feel the feels.
This is the perfect example of feel the feels.
Feel the feels, but also another sign of toxic positivity is just trying to get on with it and just stuffing and dismissing emotions that you have. And I will be the first one, like, I don't have time for that. Like, I'm a G. What are you talking about? Tears? Emotions?
Wait, Christy always says, I'm a G.
I am a G.
No, we'll be having conversations, you guys, and shit. And I'm like,
I'm a G.
I'm like, and we're like, nope, I'm a G.
I'm a G. And
toxic positivity.
No, I told you, this is a work in progress.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, everything on this list, we've done.
It's a
Seriously.
work in progress. Even my boyfriend knows, like, Christy, you're a G. I'm like, I know
it.
But I've gotten to a point where I'm just like, okay, you know what? These emotions are coming up. I'm not feeling good right now. So I'll talk it out. And then I'm like, okay, I've gotten it. I'm done.
Good.
Let's move on.
And we've moved forward.
Because, sometimes there's nothing you can do about shit. Like, so why do we try to control it?
Come on. Wait.
And that's another thing,
That's
too.
a sidebar for real. Let's talk about that. You guys, so I talk about, and I talk about this with clients too. Like, we have control over our own vibe. Control our own vibe.
Yes, correct.
Kelly actually just said this to me. She was like, I need you to teach a class on how to be unbothered. I'm like, I am in this world.
Say less.
Girl. Because, I can see the trauma going on. But the thing is, what I completely understand, and this is training myself, I can be in this world, but not of it. I can be an observer. I can look at something heating up and it's about to be some drama, and I can add in my 2 cents. I have an option and a choice. And I choose what type of vibe do I want. Do I feel like being confrontational and joining in some shit and getting all that shit in my head? Or do I want to be over here enjoying my space? I just put a little light bubble around me, and I choose me. And I choose to control my vibe.
There you go.
And she was just saying to me, she's like, no, seriously. She was pointing out some things that happened. She was like, I was like, yeah, and I can tell you everything that happened. I always know what's going on. But I just choose how I'm going to allow myself to respond.
Right. And that's something that we have control over.
That's what we have control over. So control what you can control.
Right.
Like, in this journey, you start learning, like, I'm literally allowing something that I have no freaking control over to be the mastermind of my motherfucking feelings. Right. I'm not giving anything else authority over me like that. No, ma'am. I know a little bit better now.
And as a recovering people pleaser, which I'm still working on that too.
Is it a 12-step program?
It's more like a 50-step. No, I'm joking. But, as a people pleaser, like, I know that I can only control my actions, my response, my energy. But sometimes when people come back and it's like, okay, well, let me step back and look at what I did. What did I say? What did I do? How did I respond? What was the outcome of that? And does that contribute to how the person is responding to me? Mm-hmm. Sometimes it doesn't. And at this point now, I'm like, well, you know what? I can't control that.
But sometimes, and seriously, another indicator of toxic positivity, that sometimes because we do this, we go back and we say, well, wait a minute, hold on. Let me try to go replay the conversation, because we have to understand, because we initially go to our intention. Like, I did not intend to injure or harm.
Right.
So let me go back to see where I messed up. And then what happens is, when we start feeling guilty for feeling what we feel,
right?
Because now we're like, but I don't understand what I did, and now you're creating some shit that ain't even fucking there.
I used to ruminate. I mean,
she's like, I'm in it.
That was one of my psychology terms. Ruminate. It's like, what did I do? What did I say? How can I fix? How do I? And I just got to the point, I'm like, you know what? I can't. And also, that is also a contributor as far as controlling, as far as my eating disorder.
Yeah.
I was in a space where I couldn't control my life. The only thing I felt like I could control was me and what I ate and what I put into my body. And so that became like my method of control.
You know what? Let me tell you something. That's actually really interesting, because when we're teaching and guiding people on how to master themselves, one of the first things you do is teach them how to control what they put into their body. Because it's like, when you're trying to show somebody, like, baby steps.
Hopefully it doesn't
let me show you. Yes, it does. But when you're trying to show, like, you have mastery over your life, you can control. So let me show you baby steps.
Yeah.
So we talk about controlling what you eat. So when you're hit, like, that's like for real training. You literally were training yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because it goes both ways. It can be helpful or it can be harmful to you. the understanding of I can control this. I have control over this. And when you feel like everything else is chaos.
Yeah. Only thing you can control is how you respond.
Yeah, that's it.
Your energy.
Now here's an example of, okay, so we talk about this. So far we've talked about how, you know, you kind of put this toxic positivity on yourself.
Woo.
But as friends, we need to get into this. When we minimize other people's experience with like these feel good quotes or statements, like, you know, everything happens for a reason.
Light and love only.
Good vibes only. Right. You know, or we start off, you know, someone's in the middle of something, we say, well, at least this, like, let me, and this is, and I swear I talked about this. When friends and our loved ones come to us, sometimes all they need us to do is just be there.
Right.
Just hold
the
fucking space.
Just listen.
You know, and there's a difference between being sympathetic, because then you try to relate to it. Right. Like, oh, I know what you're talking about. And it's so easy for us to do that.
Don't do that.
Because it's just like, oh my goodness, because we want, because and the reason we do this, think about this, especially when we're talking to people that we care about, is because we're on the other side of them, and that's our way of telling them, like, I've been there, you can be on the other side of this too. So we're really trying to help, kind of like, you know, oh my goodness, I know how painful this hurts, and I don't want you to hurt like I did, so let me hurry up and bring you to the other side. But at the end of the day, you gotta let people be where the fuck they at.
But can you share, like, the detriment on the spiritual side when you try to empathize with other people?
Oh, girl. Look. Now, you know, as an empath,
right.
I often, especially when working with people, like, we have to shield our energy, because it is so easy for me to take on
it is
someone else's energy.
So don't try and empathize.
Right. So that's what I meant.
Right.
Like, I'm so there. I know this might be a little confusing, but just in terms of spiritually, there's a difference between like, you know, empathizing and taking it in. So what I'm saying is just
hold space.
Yeah, hold space. Thank you. But not fill it with, I'm trying to relate to you. Right. You know what I mean? Because, guys, we got to let people be where they're at. And sometimes it's just the fact that you're sitting here. I need to say this out loud. And that's it. But we also have to be accountable to ourselves. And this is something that I am learning. Like, when I say today, like every day, this is a new lesson for me. Being able to open your mouth and say when you need help.
Yeah.
That is so...
That's hard for me too.
I mean, like, I'm almost just crying. Just like...
That's hard for me too.
I mean, I have literally, when I think back, like, I know so many times I have literally chosen to suffer because I was too prideful to ask for help.
Well,
woo, girl.
So was it because you were prideful or because you didn't know how to ask for help?
But all. I didn't know
because
how.
I know for me, I didn't know how.
I was too. Let me say, the thing for me was, it was like I felt like, you know, I was always there for everybody else. I literally didn't know how, but the real reason was because I was afraid that if I finally opened up and say, "Hey, I need you," and they said no or didn't follow through, that was more scary to me than just suffering. Because then it's like the person that I hold in such high regard, or, you know.
That's why I don't have friends.
Do you know what I mean? Like, this, seriously. This is, so it was very difficult for me. And this, and I have to say this because, you know, I have wonderful friends and family, including you. I really do. This was something that this was a Mia thing. And it just took me a minute. Like, it was so difficult. I mean, so there's nothing that they did that made me feel like I shouldn't be able to feel safe and vulnerable, but I didn't. And that's probably from, you know, my biological mother. Like, I taught myself how not to need people. And like, I mean, when I think about it, like, when I say, Christy, I chose to suffer, like, I chose because I was scared that they would say no. Because then what does that mean? I have nobody. So I'd rather live in my fake reality than know for certain that I don't.
That's true. Because once you realize someone doesn't have your back when you thought they did,
oh my
God,
painful. You can't. That's painful as fucking. Very painful. And I chose the pain. Right. It's like, okay, fuck it. I'd rather take the suffering pain than know for certain that people don't have my back. Ooh, girl, yeah. Like, I mean,
you have a good tribe though. You have a good tribe of people around you, but like I've always, I mean, I shared with you, relationships for me, especially with women, have been really challenging for me.
I understand that, Christy. I do. I mean, I will say that, and if I'm honest, I do have a good tribe, but they're better than me because relationships were challenging for me, especially with women. Now, I was never the I don't like women, you know, like that was never my thing. It's just I had trust issues.
Yeah, that was me too. Trust issues.
So you know what I mean, but that went to both sexes.
Right.
Like I literally I had trust issues, and so you know, with my my relationship with my biological mother, and just kind of that dismissiveness and not feeling seen and not feeling chosen was like, again, you teach you as a coping mechanism. I taught myself how to not feel like I needed somebody.
Right.
But for some reason that was only, to the women. So it's almost like, so you know what I mean? So it was very much so like, I'm only going to let you get so far, because if you hurt me, bitch, I'm going to kill you. Like, I don't have time you know what I mean? Like, I was too scared. But I had really good friends who were like, girl, anyway, we see you with your crazy ass. Come on, Cancer, sit down.
And it's funny because I just retraced where my trust issues came, like where they came in with women, and it was from high school when I found out my very best friend, who lived across the alley from me, was trying to get me jumped. That was devastating to me.
Girl, my very best friend since I know since 4th grade, in high school, slept with my boyfriend.
See, that's
like straight up, like
and that's where toxic positivity has come in for me, because
she tried to get you jumped. Why?
Oh, all through high school.
Are you serious, Christy?
First 2 years, yeah. Yep, she was the instigator, and I found out, and I was like, oh.
You like, but her though? There's no way.
We were like,
and, I mean, because that is some different type of.
I was devastated.
And that's the thing, and that's the thing. It's like something about a betrayal with your people, like your friends, like, especially as women, like when we have these relationships, when we allow ourselves to be that type of betrayal, it hit different. It's like real talk. I can get over a betrayal from a boyfriend way quicker.
Right.
Like, I'm a cry, I'm sad, blah, blah, blah. But
that.
I mean, I'm a Cancer. Like, I'm a cry for, like, I'm gonna get these tears out, and then I'm like, I have moved the fuck on. Like, right. Who? What? But with the girlfriends and those type of relationships, it's just like, that hit. Because you just start thinking like, but how did I not see this? Yeah.
She stabbed me in the back.
Real talk. Real talk. Okay. Sorry. So not allowing people to, have their moment.
And I think that not only for other people, but for yourself too.
Yeah.
Like when you are in a situation where you're feeling these emotions well up, it's okay to be in that space. Don't live there, but it's okay to be in that space. You need to feel those emotions. They need to come out. They need to be released, because that is all a part of our healing. Okay, so here's another one.
Yep.
Trying to give someone perspective. Like, it could be worse. Mm-hmm. Like, I've heard of people saying this. Like, when someone dies, or at least they died in their sleep.
Oh my God, no! When I read this, I kind of teared up a little bit. Like, oh my goodness, because when we go back to intent,
right?
I know for a fact that when I've said, like,
I don't intend for it to be that way,
but I'm like, oh my goodness, I felt real seen, like, shit.
Yeah.
Like, because you're trying to find a way to soothe the pain for your friend, for your loved one, for your husband, for your wife, for whoever the fuck. Like, you're trying to find a way to, like, I want to bridge you from here to here. Yeah. And it's not our responsibility to do that. We need to give people the space to be able to do that for ourselves.
Exactly.
But I mean, I was like, ooh, cringe. What does Kai say? Cringy. #cringy. Because I was like, oh shit, I do this.
Yeah. And instead of validating,
I'm trying to find like the silver lining. Like, bitch, sit your ass the fuck down, Mia. Goddamn. Thank you. Girl, this checked me. That was a check for me.
Yeah. And so instead of validating their emotional experience, basically you are invalidating their feelings.
Yes.
Their feelings that connect to feelings of worthiness. So sometimes it's just best to just don't say anything.
No, but seriously, but think about that. If you my ex-husband did this to me all the time because, he's a Capricorn and I'm a Cancer. So he looks at emotions as very much so, that doesn't make sense to him.
I'm a Capricorn moon.
Mm-hmm. Crazy. So instead of saying, just being able to be like, okay, I don't understand. It's like he's telling me what I'm feeling is not real. And it's just like, how can you I for real feel this, and then you start questioning yourself. When I say that really does hit to the core of, if I can't even accurately know how I feel, because I'm listening to this fool, which is crazy, but for real, because you think you're listening to your loved ones, damn, what's wrong with me? Maybe I'm not feeling this way. Maybe I am making it up. No.
My father used to make me feel bad for being so sensitive. Why do you cry so much? First of all,
I can't tell you how many times I've heard that.
First of all, I'm a girl.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. Why are you always crying?
Because.
Don't get it twisted. I choke the life out of you while I'm crying. But it's just, I can't.
But see, I also,
it's cleansing to me.
It is very cleansing. But I also think, as far as toxic positivity, so with my first ex-husband, I told you I was broken. And there was a period of time, I'm like, should I say this on the podcast? But there was a period of time where I was contemplating.
Oh yeah, been there.
And sis. it was dark. It was
Chrissy,
very,
seriously,
very
we
dark.
really, I think that we really do need to talk about situations like this, because we don't, as a community, we don't talk about feeling like I want to end my life.
Not in mine.
No, listen, I want to end my life or having homicidal thoughts. That's a very real thing. Now, of course, most of us obviously don't act on it, but we need to understand that when I see some of the documentaries about people who snaps, it's not that I'm it's not that I'm have empathy for the murderer. I just understand.
I understand.
When I say,
so I was,
baby, when I say,
and
but for the grace of God,
I was like, I would rather just fill myself with as much positive stuff as possible than to be in that dark space.
And you know what's so crazy? When you dealing with darkness, and when you do that, do you know how mad they get? Motherfuckers get me. How dare you try to find some joy when I'm trying to tear your fucking life apart? They for real come. It's they up the ante.
Right. You are absolutely right.
Ooh, it hurts them. I've worked too hard to get you here. How dare you try to find some way to dig your...
How dare you not be bothered?
Audacity!
I remember the day where my ex-husband, so I ended up getting this dance job because when we were together, I started off dancing, but he didn't really want me dancing professionally, so I gave it up, and I was like, okay, well, I got to focus on a career. And once we separated, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to give myself 1 year of just straight dancing. So I auditioned, got with the lyric opera, and I remember sharing it with his mom because I would need help with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I guess she mentioned it to him. He called me out to curse me out, to tell me it doesn't matter, you're still nothing, you'll never be nothing, I don't care if you're dancing, you still shit, you're a bitch, you're this, you're that,
girl.
And I was just like, okay, next, what else? You've already said that. Okay, what else?
You know what? This is where, did you see Tabitha Brown respond to Wendy Williams? Baby, this is where I would have loved to be able to have you must be in a lot of pain
and
to be so
that you find a love
angry at my motherfucking growth. God damn, I'm gonna pray for you,
right,
motherfucker. Sorry. Yeah, sometimes when I
if
feel
you
it,
saw
it
that
got
clapback, you all need to look up that clapback if you have not seen it, because it was coming from a space of maturity, understanding, and love. And even though
Girl Tabitha gave me all the vibes,
she read her
for sure.
She read her.
But that baby said, "I'm so sorry that you have not experienced this type of love, baby." When I said, I was like,
clap.
Yes, ma'am.
Clap back.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
So yeah. I'm like, yes, ma'am.
So another thing that let's talk about this. Shaming or chastising others for expressing frustration or anything other than positivity.
Y'all, for real, like, think about that.
Especially in the spiritual space.
Oh,
high vibes only. High vibes only.
because, you know, so I thought about this. So I think about, like, I'm dead serious. I'm always very cautious, and I'm always correcting Jade. I'm talking about, like, today, y'all, when, you know, she says anything with, because, you know, I'm very much so, like, look, anything you start with I need you to be very fucking careful what comes out your mouth, because you are speaking life over yourself. You are speaking a decision and a destination over yourself. Understand that you are a sovereign being. So this is what I'm saying to my daughter. So now it's not so now I'm thinking, like, am I coming off as trying to push some toxic positivity? Because, you know, say she does bad on the test and she's like, you know, I feel so stupid, and I'm like, we're not doing that. Yeah. But I'm invalidating how she feels. She didn't say I am so stupid. She said I feel so stupid, or I feel, and I'm like, and I'm, because I'm so, especially, you know, anything starting with I'm like, you know, for real, we need to understand what it is that we're saying. Yeah. So I'm as I was going through this, preparing for this episode, I was thinking to myself, I need to make sure that I'm balancing.
Yes. Balance is key.
Speaking, you know, showing her, speaking life over yourself, speaking love over yourself, speaking abundance over yourself, but also understanding that you can feel what you feel.
Right. Not undermining her feelings.
Yes, you know what I mean? I don't want to invalidate her. Like, that gave me some, I'm like, damn, wait a minute. Yeah. Do I do that? And then like the shaming part, like shaming ourselves.
I had to have a conversation with my daughter about that, because, you know, her grades this past year, well, in one class, her grades weren't the best. She had a really difficult academic year. And I had to tell her, I said, your grades do not define who you are. I know society teaches you, you know, A's and B's are best. But honestly, if you get a D or an F, okay, did you try your best? I mean, what else can I ask from you?
Seriously.
What else can I ask from you? Sometimes shit gets hard and it does not click with us. It is okay. You will be fine. It will not change your career path either way.
You know, and I think it's sometimes as parents, ladies, like, especially as moms. Ooh, child. I'm like, I think that, again, out of love, we do a lot to prevent them from feeling failure. We want to prevent them from pain. Yeah. We want to prevent them from a lot of the things that we felt. But we have to understand, and this is why you need sisters. This is why you need a tribe. This is why you need a collective to remind you of this. You wouldn't be the beautiful, dope-ass mom that you are if you hadn't failed, if you hadn't made some mistakes, if you hadn't bumped your head, if you know what I mean. Like, so we have to understand that our children are sovereign beings. Now, of course, we don't want them, you know, what we can do up until a certain point, but we gotta let that shit go. Yep. Because I told you, and I mean, my mom used to laugh at me because, like, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you 2 or 3 times, but go ahead. If you don't fucking believe me, put your hand on the goddamn stove.
Oh, that was me.
Go ahead.
Look, I'm only going to tell you twice. I'm only going to tell you twice.
Girl, me and my mom, Jade, she was about 5 years old. She was like, Mommy. So we were telling this story about how when I was younger, I got some my sister and my friends to jump off the roof with a big golf umbrella like Mary Poppins, because I thought. So Jade, you know, she's like, I want to jump off the roof. See, I'm not the mom. I'm like, okay. My mom went and got the ladder. I put that thing up. I was like, go ahead, because I need you to
go ahead.
Pay attention to. I'm not the one. I'm not about to coddle you. So she's looking at me like, what you mean? I'm like, we'll hold the ladder for you. We'll bring the umbrella up. You got it.
Go ahead.
And she's looking like. I said, no, say what you mean to me. What you say. I don't wanna. I didn't say do it, but you said you want to do it. Go ahead. Come on.
That is funny.
Girl, I would give you all the rope, because the lesson is, but we have to. But it's still, you know, like when she has a falling out with her friends or something, it's like, I'm trying to, I thought about this, like, I'm trying to hurry up her past that pain or feeling betrayed.
We try to fix it.
And it's just like, no, Mia, she has to feel what it feels like to be betrayed so she can see it coming beforehand. This is a lesson for her. This is actually a fucking blessing for her, because it starts, you know what I mean? Like, I need her to listen to her intuition, to pay attention, because if she's having a moment where she's thinking like, I felt that, but I didn't, this is a lesson for her. But if you try to go in and hurry up and fix it and gloss it over, she doesn't get that.
I remember when my daughter first had her, like, broken, it was, I mean, not broken heart, but there was a guy that she liked, and he stopped talking to her, and she was all in her
Girl,
feelings.
that's a broken heart.
Which I understand, and I was just like, you know what, let me not minimize her feelings in any way. And I told her, I said, I understand where you've been, like, where you are. I have been there. And in no way do I want to minimize your feelings, but understand, this little boy he's just a little boy.
Yeah, you know. See, oh, wait. Okay. This is why I think part of who I am, because I remember, unfortunately or fortunately, depends on who you're asking at the moment, I very much so remember my childlike feelings. Like, I remember feeling like I wanted to throw up. Like, it was life ending for me. Like,
I don't even want to. I don't even want to share.
Oh
what
my
I did.
God! Like,
I don't even want to share what I did over a boy.
Girl, I've done. Wait, just once, child.
A couple times.
I mean, I have done some very. Wait, sorry, I gotta laugh at myself.
I've done some crazy shit.
So when I think about that, you know what I mean? I remember how it feels. So, of course, we don't want them to feel that, but we also have to remember, like, yo. I mean, I'm talking about cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, baby.
Well, and I told her, I was like, I understand.
But we also know on the other side now.
There will be other boys. I was like,
girl,
how about you come in real cute?
Just
ignore him.
Get over it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we trying to push that. But at the end of the day,
there's that toxic positivity.
Because as a mom, we know, like, girl, 5 years from now, we're going to be like, oh, whatever happened to Ray? Who? Remember that little boy you had? Ray.
That name's not coming up. I'm not.
The one with the, girl, what? We know that's coming.
Yeah.
But we have to let them get there in their own time. So, but as moms, especially as, you know, your daughter is 18 now.
17.
Mm-hmm. So she is... You know, it's just like, all I could do is be here for...
How do I have a 17-year-old? How did this happen?
Girl.
I'm about to have a 20-year-old.
I'm not trying to hear nothing you talk about. I'm like,
Like how?
Because we close to age, so that means that
We're getting younger, you guys.
I am aging backwards. I am.
I am.
Aging backwards.
I am youthful. I am aging backwards.
I got that Benjamin Bud now. I got that spiritual snapback. Okay, sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about, because we hit on it a little bit earlier. Oh, wait. Hold on. Especially as a strong black woman. It is what it is.
Right. I have said that.
And so you know what? What have I said that? I have a friend who, she always says, I don't give a fuck. Because I don't give a fuck.
But you really do.
But you do.
Because you're vocalizing.
But she's like, nope. And it's like, it is what it is. Like, it's very much so that, yeah, it is what it is. But that doesn't mean what it is doesn't hurt.
True. That's facts.
And this is the thing. I think a lot of people, we do this. We do this, all these things, this level of toxic positivity, because we want to avoid pain. And let's be honest, we're going to have a real moment right now. It doesn't fucking work, because the pain, like, real
creep
talk,
up. It's like
it creeps up.
You can sweep it under the rug.
You sweep it under the rug, and now you walking over a whole mountain underneath your damn rug, and guess what's going to happen? It doesn't work. So we can't avoid pain. So we might as well go ahead and face it and look at it from a place of, I'm here for a reason. What am I supposed to learn? And I know that sounds, like, oh, but I'm not even trying to be all like love and like real talk. Feel the freaking feels. Right. Like I say this all the time. Feel the feels. It is, because guess what? This too is temporary. Yeah. This too is a lesson that you may not see it now, but there will be a time when you look back on this and be like, ooh, if only, but man, if that didn't happen, I would have never done this. I would have never taken that class. I would have never left away for the summer and met this person. And like, you guys, it's a journey. It's not a, I get this and I stop, and if that doesn't work, that means my life is over.
No, it's not.
It's like next chapter. Next.
So I had a client reach out to me last weekend. So she had this trip coming up that meant so many things for her. And she texted me and she was like, can you ask your pendulum a couple questions? I was like, sure. And then she said, actually, can I call you? And so she called me and she was crying and boo-hooing because she had finally opened up herself to this person. And she had never been, you know.
Wait, oh my God, wait, what? What? See, you see how easy it is for me to feel all the feelings. I was about to start crying because I felt the vulnerability. Get it together.
But she had always been in this space for years where she was just like, I don't have time, I'm strong, I don't have time for you, I'm not going to let you in. And there was this person that she met where they just vibed, like they just connected.
I love it.
And she misinterpreted some things, and so she called me and she was crying and she was just like, I don't know what to do, I'm sorry, I'm crying, you know, I have this, you know, ugly cry. And I said, no, this is good, like get it out. These feelings are valid, like you
Let me
can't
tell you
hide
something.
it.
A nap after a good cry.
See, I wake up with a stuffed up nose after I cry and then go to sleep.
Man, let me tell y'all something. That cry where you just can't help but just go to sleep. Who you wake up like,
it's a new day.
like, okay, now I'm ready to move forward. Yeah. No, but like, seriously.
But I had to tell him, like, it is okay. Like, what you were feeling is fine. Release it, acknowledge it, know that you're not going to be in the space forever. I said, but at the same time, realize that what you're perceiving from the situation is not what you think is your reality. And so then after she let it out and I was like, take a walk, be in nature, enjoy. Then she came back and she said, oh my gosh, that was the best trip ever. And I was like, you have to just, it's okay.
Oh, I love it.
And being vulnerable, and I told her this too, being vulnerable does not make you weak.
Ooh!
At all.
Can you say that again, please?
Being vulnerable does not make you weak. Society has made us believe that.
That's so true. And you know, sometimes honestly what makes me a little sad for us strong women, and I'm air quoting strong women, is that we literally sometimes do not know how to accept love.
Yes. I agree.
Like when you really think about that, how much we have to go through just to be able to accept it and see it for what it is, allow ourselves to be vulnerable. We have to teach ourselves this as grown women.
Right.
When accepting love is literally like your birthright, when you come out the cooch,
right?
Like it's in us, but we've been trained and nurtured a different way because we think we have to protect ourselves. Girl, we need to let that shit go.
Sometimes I also think that it's difficult for us to accept love because we don't love ourselves.
Woo!
And I think that is like, I think that's huge. And this is, I'm gonna speak for myself. That was that was it for me. I realized that I like the whole worthiness or not feeling worthy. I realized that I didn't feel like I was worthy of it. I didn't feel like I was worthy of love because I had issues loving my own self.
Okay, so I would say for me that I didn't think there was definitely the worthiness issue.
555.
Hey, we love it. 555. There was definitely a worthiness issue, but I think I was so afraid of being vulnerable that and free and open, and I mean seriously, like drive past. Why? Sorry guys. Free and open. That I feel like I chose. I mean, and this is difficult to say, but it's real. I feel like I chose projects. Because then I would always have an excuse as to why it wasn't what I believed I desired and what I really wanted. So I set it up so that when it failed, because I knew it was going to, which is like, real time, if you think about this, y'all, this is some fucked up shit. I've never changed my name. I've been married twice. It's like I always knew And I feel like I subconsciously or unconsciously chose projects where it was gonna fail, but I would always have an excuse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I believe that what the type of love and understanding and peace and connectedness and partnership that I really desire, I didn't think it existed. So it's like I made myself like, okay, well, since that doesn't exist, let me create something else, but in a way that I can, what I thought was avoid pain, which is some bullshit, because definitely experienced pain. But at the end of the day, I had to hold myself accountable for what I knew.
Right, yeah. It's
walking
funny.
Into it. Like,
my father told my ex-husband, my father told my second ex-husband that I was a project. I mean, basically, he was like, oh yeah, Christy growing up, she always brought in stray animals. You're just one of those animals that, she's
You're like, so you're the new stray.
Right, pretty much.
You're like, well, damn, daddy.
But he was right.
That way he wasn't too far off.
No, he wasn't.
Okay, so real quick, I want to talk about spiritual bypass just because I think it's very similar to toxic positivity because it's used in the same way. Basically, like, if you're denying difficult feelings, invalidating someone else's feelings, or judging yourself or others, but using spirituality as a way to do it, is very similar to the way toxic positivity works.
I remember when I was Buddhist, when I was a practicing Buddhist, this is when I was living in New York. I was a practicing Buddhist, and it was like, Buddhists are always happy. So I felt like I had to be happy because that's what Buddhists are. And whenever I found myself in this space where I was at a low space or I just wasn't happy, well, Christy, we're Buddhists. Buddhists are always happy. We're supposed to...
But think about the message that you're sending yourself. So when you're in the moment where you're not what you believe to be happy...
feelings are invalid.
Now you're thinking, well, something must be wrong with me because I'm not supposed to be
feeling happy.
Right. I'm not supposed to be feeling like this, so what's wrong with me? Oh, God. And then you feel like you can't go and say anything to any of your leaders or, anyone that you fellowship within that community. So then we hide it because we feel shame because it's not working. Why do I not feel happy all the time? Something's wrong with me. And then you go around faking like you're happy because you don't want somebody else to judge you. So now you didn't judge your damn self and doing shit so somebody else cannot judge you. Like, do you see the fucking cycle we go through just because we don't want to feel our fucking feelings we feel it?
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
And there are a lot of people out there that are trying to be, positive all the time. You cannot be positive all the time. And it's okay.
It's okay. Because that's something. So, spiritual narcissism. Girl, when I saw this, I was like, this right here, oh, baby. So, basically, that's when you use, like, religious process or beliefs or philosophies as a means to boost your self-importance. Why you are more important. Why you are over somebody. Why you are elevated and they are beneath you. When we use a spiritual bypass, like, I'm this person now, so that means that I'm okay, and the rest of you people are idiots and slow. That leads to us thinking that we're above people. And like I'm like, the analogy that Christy uses, we are literally all rays of the same sun, baby. Sorry.
Oh, yep.
Look, I'm like, we are all the same.
Yeah.
So when we use our spirituality, our awakening, because we know some people like we know a lot of people like this. It's like, I'm awakened, so now all of a sudden we feel like we're better than people.
Yes.
And we need to, like,
no boo boo.
Like, seriously, you guys, we should be, because our memory is short, and this is one of the things that I love about myself is that my memory ain't short. I remember what it felt like to feel. I can go back to the space, like, and like literally feel the feelings of what it feels like to be lost.
Yep.
To feel like I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know why I'm here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like, I don't ever want to forget that, because I want to be able to have compassion and be able to guide those who are in that space. Like, I know I don't ever want to get to the point where I feel like, oh my God, you guys are so stupid. You are sheeple. Fucking sheeple. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get to the point where I don't remember what that is. Because at the end of the day, I feel like it's part of my service is to bring you to the other side. So how can I identify it if I think I'm so much better than everybody? Like, come on. That's not... And that, you know... And also we use our spirituality as a way... Like, and this is the thing. Because we talk about... I'm big on the divinity in us. Yes. Our I am. Yep. Your I am source. Understanding that we literally are a manifestation of source experiencing this life that we chose. That we chose. I want to go down and experience life in this way. So just to let you know how much control you have over your life. So I feel like when we use religion to circumvent responsibility, so we, instead of placing faith in the fact that we can manifest our lives, we place faith in a higher being to address all our issues. Like, God got me. And I mean, like, and we say these things like, you know, God knows my heart. And so you can act a fucking fool, but you do this spiritual bypass with what God knows my heart. But you just acted a whole goddamn fool.
God doesn't
you can't be over here smacking people around.
That is not a godly heart.
Carjacking and talking about God knows my heart.
No.
I needed that. So when we separate ourselves from source, when we separate ourselves from what we call God, and we place it as, we make God a noun. When we say God is a noun, a person, place, or thing, we are limiting what God is. God is a verb. God is always being. As you are being, you are God, so you are being. And if you are alive and breathing right now, you are being in a manifestation of God. God is not something outside of us. This thing that we pray to.
God
this
is in
thing,
us.
it's in us. It's who the fuck we are.
Yep.
Like, real talk. That
Real
really
talk.
was our message for today.
So, did you all get that?
Did you get that?
That message. Did you get it? So there is this post that I saw and I wanted to share. And it basically has one column, toxic positivity, and then it has another column, highest self. And so I just want to share both sides. Okay, toxic positivity. Hustle 24/7.
Come on.
Highest self, stay balanced.
Girl, I was definitely grind mode. Wait, hold on. Beast mode.
Beast mode.
That was my thing, like hashtag beast mode. I'm out here. I'm grinding, I'm hustling. For what?
Toxic positivity. Failure is not an option.
Damn,
Higher
that
self.
was literally one of my mottos. God damn.
Higher self. Failing is a lesson.
Woo!
Toxic positivity.
I'm feeling seen right now. Hold on, Christy. Wait a minute. And we just finished the bottle.
Right. Toxic positivity. Stay positive. Highest self. Emotions are normal. Because they are.
Christy over here reading me for filth.
Toxic positivity. At least you're not. Highest self. I am grateful for.
Ooh, how many times have you said, at least you're not?
Toxic positivity. While you sleep, I grind.
Oh!
Highest self.
Oh, wait a minute. Why you have to do the influences like that? Y'all know good and damn.
Highest self. I need sleep to function. So it is okay to balance.
Yo,
I didn't go to the gym today.
Aren't you sleepy?
I didn't go to the gym today.
It's
all right.
But because I was in bed by 10 after the Van Gogh exhibit, which was amazing, by the way. But seriously, while you sleep, I grind. Toxic positivity.
Toxic positivity. Just be happy. Highest self. Happiness is defined by me, and it can fluctuate. And I will say, it's okay when it fluctuates. Doesn't mean anything is wrong with you. Doesn't mean that anything is broken. It's okay. So yeah, I wanted to share that.
Oof. I like that. I like the reframing of I feel very seen right now. I
do too.
Especially some of them,
because we all do it.
While you sleep, I grind. Oh my goodness. Damn, Chrissy. I just had hold on, I gotta get my brains together, because when I say I definitely remember a time where I'm working until 2-3 o'clock in the morning, come home, take a 2-hour nap, shower, run back out, and I thought that was the shit. That I allowed what I called my work ethic, which is really me tearing myself to pieces and not taking care of myself. I honestly considered that what I was supposed to be doing. I'm ambitious. I got shit to do. But what happens is and this is the thing, when we wear ourselves out, and I love the younger generation. And I know this sounds crazy.
They don't play. They're like, what?
No, right. No, they don't.
Do that.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, so when we were entering the workforce and doing that, we've talked about this before. It was very much so, if you want to be in this world, you need to assimilate. So, like, you feel like there is a duality. You're straddling the fence. Like, that's a real damn thing.
They're
so,
like, no, I'm about to
this generation that's coming out, baby. When I tell you, these motherfuckers is not playing games with you because they I was born. Let me tell you something, because I was like, they understand their talent. They understand that you can't do this without me. So I'm not. If you want me there, I'm coming in my full, authentic, true self. What?
Yeah.
What?
Got chills. Yeah.
What? Beautiful. So what is this? Gen Z, Gen Y? Y'all got it. I mean, like, I'm.
Aren't we I'm Gen Z. I think I'm.
You are not Gen
I,
Z.
Gen Y?
You Gen X. With me.
B,
Sit your old ass back over here in Gen X.
Oh yeah, Gen X.
Yes, you are Gen X.
Gen X.
But you know what I'm saying. So this this generation that's coming out and entering the workforce, they're more entrepreneurial.
Yep.
They believe they can make their own way. This is stuff that we are just getting to, and I think it's beautiful. So I ain't mad. All right, Christy, what we got? What's our
millennials? Okay.
You ain't no millennial.
No, I know. I'm looking at all the different Gen Zs, Ys, Bs, Cs, and Ds. Okay, so this week's featured crystal is hematite. It's deals with grounding, manifestation, and making the spiritual physical. And the element of this crystal, or stone, I'll call it a stone, is earth. Mm-hmm. And the chakra that this stone is great for is root. And so hematite is one of the most effective of all stones for grounding oneself in the body and the physical world. It can counteract spaciness and confusion, helping one to see practical concerns and move forward with useful action. Hematite is a great tool in helping you to learn the difference between a true vision and a fantasy. Hematite carries with it both polarities of light and dark, female and male, positive and negative, higher self and shadow self. And this is a stone of integration which helps to bring balance between polarities, bringing all the experience into a cohesive oneness, which I think is great. Because ultimately that's what we've been talking about. Embracing everything as one, as a whole. Hematite assists us in resonating with the reality of oneness and finding it within. And so I thought this was great because toxic positivity has you on the other side, on one extreme. And hematite, working with this stone, it helps you to brings you back into balance, but it also shows you that you need both sides. You need the light, you need the dark, you need the female, you need the male, you need the positive and the negative, because how will you know the one, like how will you know either one of them if you don't experience the other? So that's why I chose this crystal or stone for today. So, what's your experience?
You know what's interesting? I haven't actually messed with my hematite in a while, but I used to meditate with it a lot. Lately, for protection stone, from grounded things, I've been shungite.
Shungite, yep. Shungite.
I've been dealing with the shungite for a while. So, but listening to you, I'm like, damn, I might need to. I used to use it. Oh, damn, now you got me thinking. I'm like, I do need to pull out this hematite because I like that for like the bringing the energy and connecting you to the oneness. Mm-hmm. I need to play with that a little bit more in a different mindset now. Right. Okay, because that was clearing out a lot. That was clearing a lot out for me a while ago. Maybe 2 years ago, I was using that. Now I got tourmaline in every corner of my house. Yeah, tourmaline. And then I got that big ass brick of shungite as soon as you walk through my door. Actually, I have a hematite and a it was tourmaline I think I had. Now I have a hematite and a what's that thing over there? My wands, selenite above my door.
Okay. So personally, I haven't really worked with hematite. I use it with my clients for grounding. But I know for me personally, I prefer black tourmaline. But after like doing research and learning more about hematite, I'm definitely gonna start meditating.
I was about to say I used to. I'm gonna now. You're making me like I need to pull that out.
Definitely. All right, that is the crystal of the week. Do you have a message for the day?
Well, honestly, look, I'm like I kind of said it earlier.
Y'all already got the message.
Y'all got it. But y'all, honestly, I've been doing a lot of meditating because it's been it's the week of my birthday, so I always feel like it's time to that's a reset for me. And one of the messages, honestly, but we talked about this a little bit, but honestly, one of the messages, you guys, that I hope that you take away, that it's your time.
Yeah.
And what we need to do, hopefully there's something that we'll all embrace, is staying in our own queendom or kingdom. Yep. Stop looking over the fence to see what somebody else is doing, because when we start to compare, like I've said this before, comparison is a fear-based output. When we start comparing ourselves, because we have some fear there. So think about the fact how silly it is to be afraid or have fear in a plan that you created.
Yep.
Live as if the desires of your heart and what you've created are what's happening at this moment, okay? And a part of that is allowing yourself to feel what you feel and be where you are.
Yep.
Be present in the moment, no matter where that is, and understanding that it is all temporary, but it's all an important, relevant part of your experience in this time. When you think about all the stuff that you've been through in your life, you guys, you think about the pain, the agony, the days that you thought there's no way I'm going to make it back here. And if you're listening to this right now, guess what? That means you made it through it.
Mm-hmm.
And so your bounce back, we said this before, your bounce back is 100% because you still standing.
100%.
So when we get to the point where we start to see challenges and things that we feel like our life is imbalance or unbalanced, we start to look at it like, that means I'm about to upgrade. You see life a little bit different. And it's not necessarily you trying to mask what it is, but being honest with, oh shit. And depending how painful and traumatic it is, the bigger your upgrade.
Yeah.
So just be there in the moment. Know that you are always covered. Know that we are all in this together. When we say that, you guys, when we talk about like being all in this together, when I say the ascension of all of us, it's a group project. Okay? So I'm gonna need you to do your part.
Right.
Y'all need me to do my motherfucking part. We need Chrissy to do her damn part, because as we turn this project in together, it's about the collective. This is not about, heal people, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not about, let me just take care of myself and I'm fine. But yes, but when you really do take care of yourself and get to the point where you understand who you are and you feel who you are, you understand that there's a divinity in you. When you really, really get self-mastery and understand who you are, you understand that everybody, all of this is a part of you. We created this.
Yes.
And we are nothing but a manifestation of God's life. We are nothing but a manifestation of Source. And so when you get your calling, it's time to be who you are, right?
Be who you are.
So we love y'all. That's y'all message for today. No, spirit is always with you.
Always. All
right, y'all. So, thank you for listening to Two Queens
and crystal things. Especially you kings, because we know that you all are out there.
Hey.
But as we always say, continue to show us some love. Leave us a review. Give us some feedback. Like we wanna make sure that what we are doing and what we are sharing is helpful. It's beneficial. Don't forget to share your questions for the Queen so that we can answer them on the podcast.
Hey.
And so next week, we are discussing manifestor.
Yes. Consciousness. Yes.
Okay. So if you have any questions for us for the next show, you know where to send them. You can either send them to us at info@twoqueensandcrystalthings.com or on IG on our page. You guys do that very well, so keep it up, keep it going. But thank you again for listening. We hope you all have a wonderful day, a wonderful remainder of your week, and thank you for spending your time with us.
All right,
Peace,
we love y'all.
love.
And so.
Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.